no one's going to tell you, oh, go practice law. No one's going to tell you, go exit law. You have to kind of do your own due diligence, for lack of a better word, about like what gives you meaning and what kind of jobs are out there. You know, for me, I sort of saw myself that I was going to practice a certain kind of law. You know, when I graduated, I just felt like that wasn't so much available anymore at the time. So I kind of had to shift a little bit. So, you know, there are things that's going to come up in your life that aren't going to be according to your roadmap, but it's really important to kind of just think about what brings you joy and what brings you, what are true to your values as you're going along. So to directly address the question about, oh, do you have to practice law? I think most people do end up practicing law. That's what most people do. But I actually know people who graduated and took a business role in a tech company, for example, and they're not necessarily in a traditional practice of law, but they're certainly using skills like negotiations, drafting, critical thinking. Right? So I think as you go along, if you end up going to law school, those are the kind of internal questions that no one's really going to answer for you. Oh, can I do this? Well, you have to see whether you want to and whether you're good for it.
I guess the complete question I wanted to ask was, is it easier to transition from practicing law to an alternative career, or is it easier to start out doing an alternative career and then transitioning to practicing law?
Whoa, I only went one way, so it's hard for me to...
Right, and it's also individual and case specific, right? But I'm just wondering if you guys had any thoughts just from your own personal opinion, personal observations, experiences.
You know, working at a law firm for as long as I did, I will say that if you have not started off that way, it is very difficult for a firm to take you on if you started off immediately in an alternative pathway. First, because they, at least from the hiring partners I've worked with, is they do question whether this is what you really wanted to do. And the second thing is that often they want somebody who is ready to come in and start learning right away. And so often if you've already worked, let's say, 7 years in another career, won't want to start at that starting salary of a first year. And so, there's that rationale that comes into play as well. So I would say that the easiest way is to start with a law firm and then go through to an alternative career.